So this is what we're going to start with, and our goal is to create this image over here. This is going to be the app that we're creating, and so we're obviously going to have to start with this image in the background, but we're going to cut this out, so these are all each individual buttons. Okay, so the first thing we do, so to be able to scale the background image, we want the image to be the size that's going to fit perfectly behind those buttons. If it's too wide, it's not going to work. If it's too tall, it's not going to work. So I've already predefined what that is based on the height of this picture. I got the width from these buttons with the spaces in between too. Okay, so keep that in consideration. So this would fit directly over the top of this, and this is how I'm going to go crop this image. So I bring it over here, and I'm looking at this one over here, so I'm like, okay, his ear's right there, so I'm going to hug it against the right side over here. And to crop it, I'm going to hit the Shift tool. Okay. So if you do want to know how to make one of these boxes to crop first, obviously there's a square button over here. This is an Inkscape, and you can do this in any design software. So however you do it in yours, this is specifically how you do it in Inkscape. So if you want to make that square here, and I make it snap to corners with these controls over here. So if I wanted that exact one, I would just bring it over there, and it's going to snap to that corner, to that corner. Now I have another box that's exactly the same size. Okay. So from this box, I want to crop out that section of the photo. So I'm going to select the box on top, and I'm going to select the picture behind it, hit Object, Clip, and I'm going to set it. Once it's set, now I have my image. That's what I want to go play with. I've already duplicated this image multiple times because each button needs its own image. That makes sense, because when we crop it out, it's going to delete all the rest of the image. So I need all of those buttons. Okay. So over here I have 7 buttons, so I'm just going to do the preview side. I'm not going to do the entire app, but if you wanted to do the full length, you could stack one on top of the other, like this on this one, right? So you could do his image twice if you have a whole bunch of buttons. Okay. So I'm going to use this one first, and I'm going to drag it over here, and it's exactly the right width. Surprise, surprise. And I'm going to go and put this behind those buttons. So up here you can move the picture or the buttons up and down. And so that's what I'm going to do. And to get access to the background image, I'm going to move one of these buttons for now, and I'll come back to it later. And you'll see why. So I'm able to select the background here. Okay? So I would select this again, and the same thing I did with the cropping for the total picture, I'm going to crop it again. So I'm going to select the top button over it, and I'm going to select the background image, hit Object, Clip, Set. And you're going to be doing this a lot. So that's really the only thing. So this is also repetition, so you're going to learn how to do this cropping over and over again. So now I'm going to drag this over to this side, line it up with the top one, which is already in place for us now. I'm going to hide behind it again, and I'm going to use this button, and I'm going to select the background image. Whoops, wrong one. That one's already the button we've created. We'll try that one again. So I'm going to select this, and then where I moved that one again, I'm going to hit Shift, select that one, Clip, Set. Okay, and now you're going to have that button. That one's good. And then I'm going to do it again. You got to keep doing this until you have all your buttons. So once again, hide behind it. I'm going to select the button on top, the button in the background, or the background image, excuse me. So grab that image. Again, I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to line it up directly again so it's consistent. I'm going to select which button I want to crop out, which is going to be this one. Select the background image, Object, Clip, Set. So at this point, you probably know how to crop in this tool by now. And do it again until we're done. We're almost done. We have a couple more to do, 3 more actually. So we're going to go hide behind it again. Select the button, select the background image, Object, Clip, Set. Okay, we have 2 more to go. So then I got this one. Then I've got to hide it behind it. select the top button, the background image, object, clip, set. Okay, so the last one we need is this red one that we pulled out of the way so we can get access to it. We're going to move it over so it's back in position, and I'm just using the arrow buttons right now on my keypad right here, and that'll nudge the image over just like a smidge at a time. Then I'm going to bring that image over that again, go hide it behind it again, and make sure that button's in the right spot. So then I'm going to move and I'm going to clip it back to that corner. Okay, and then I hit Shift again to select that background image. Oh, now it's all the way behind, so give me a second here. I'm going to zoom in so I know I'm capturing that image correctly. Okay, there we go. I'm going to select the one on top, object, once again clip, set, and voila, we've got our background buttons all created. So now you've got the images all done on that end. Now if you notice on the left side, we've got some colors to add to these, and these are filter overlays. So like I created any box, you could just create a box and put it over the top of any of these. And once again, we're going to scale it so it fits the button correctly, and I need this top right one to be this green color. And so I've already had this over here for my palette, so I know what color it is. And so what you have over here is this dropper tool, and you'll be able to select any color you'd like. So I use that dropper tool, and I'd go hit click like that, because that's the color already. And if you want to know how to set them transparent, this one's already transparent that I selected. But if you want to know how to do that, if you double click down, like 2-finger click down on your keypad, it's going to pull up option menu, and you can hit fill and stroke. And it's going to give you some different options over here on opacity. Opacity is going to set it to transparent, so I can make it less transparent, more transparent, and so forth. So that's how you do it. And then you can see the different color wheels over here if you need an exact color. Okay? So that one's set, and then now I need a blue one, so I need to go create another box. Make it match over the top of this. Now I've got that green one going, but I need to make that one blue to match. Okay, and now I'm going to go select the dropper tool again in my color palette over here. I got this blue, so boom, that's matching. This is looking great. I'm almost there, only a couple more boxes to go, and then I get to go lay out the icons. Okay, so once again, snap to these edges, because the size of these buttons extremely important, because when we're uploading these into the CMS for MMapps, they need to be exactly the right dimensions. Okay, so that's why snapping to those corners. And once again, to remind you how to do that, there's tools over here that snap to the corners. So remember to keep these ones on. Okay?
How do you keep them on?
You just click them on and off. So if I click that, now that I'm not snapping the corners anymore. So if I create a box, it's not going to snap. Like if I try to scale it, like it's not going to give me any guidelines of where it's going to snap to. But then if I turn it on and I want to snap to this corner, I can just pull it in close to that corner, and it's going to tell me that's that corner. So that's what I want. So I'm going to use that box again. I'm going to snap to that corner because I need this bottom left one to be blue. So now I've got the green filter over it. Use the dropper tool again, match the one in my color palette, and we're almost there. Okay, now we need to lay some icons over the colored buttons, and I already have the icon. So I'm going to drag and drop over on top of those. And so how to get these right in the center, because you notice these are right in the center with this theme, there's also other snapping tools on the right that you can get to center of objects. So right here, these are select to midpoint and center of an object. So if I click these two, it's going to get me directly to a center of an object. That's what I want to get for that one. Again, these ones snap to corners and edges. This one snaps to center of objects and center of lines and so forth. So I'm going to drag and drop this one over the top of this, and I just see it. This is behind it, right? So I need to move that object to the front so I can see it. So once again up here, just like how we did it before, instead of moving the picture behind, I'm going to move this icon to the top. So I'm going to use the top button here, and it's going to come to the top. Easy enough. And then I've got this play button I need to drag over onto this blue button, so I'm just going to drag and drop it over. Not that button. Geez. Zoom in so I get a better picture of what I'm dragging. So once again, it's behind. See, it snapped right to the center. It's exactly what I wanted. Bring to the front. This one I need the Twitter on the green, and I need the search button on the blue. So I'm going to take Twitter. See, it's behind the green, so I need to bring it to the front. Boom. And then I need that search button over here on the blue. It's going to snap right to the center. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Bring to the front again. And there we go. We've got ourselves a match. So that's all we need. And now we got to go back and make sure that these buttons are exactly the right dimensions. And I need this to be 580 by 960. This one looks like it's a little bit off, so I must have had some kind of a stroke on the outside. Not a huge problem because it's not too far off. We're only talking about a couple pixels. So what you're going to do is, if you need to rescale it to make it fit exactly, because it's got to be 580 by 960, correct? So I'm going to click this button to lock it, and I'll say 580. And it should be 960 exact. See, it's a little bit off, so I need to put that in correctly. So I'm going to unlock that. All right, and then I'm just going to change this to 960, and it's scaling exactly the size. If you notice, I come down to this button. The button looks no different because it was only a couple pixels off. So not a huge deal if you ever find that. And I knew it was going to happen. That's why I'm doing this. Okay. Same thing over here. So to select the whole thing, just drag the cursor tool, which you have on the left here. Just drag it over the button you want to select. And so I'm dragging over here. Once again, this one needs to be 580 by 460 based on the layouts. Okay, that button does. So I'm going to put this to 580, manually put it in. And then the height, I want to be at 460. So pixels are just dimensions. They're just a measurement of what the dimensions are. So width and height. So 580 pixels width and 460 height. So there's my button. And so now if I want to save one of these buttons individually, because I need to bring them into the CMS now, right? So I need to actually save these buttons. So if I want to save this one, I've already made sure that it's 580 by 460. That's correct. And then I hit File, and I go to Export Bitmap, and that's going to be in Inkscape. And then however you would save your images in Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, however you're doing it, you'd save it that same way you would do it. But in Inkscape, it's going to be Export Bitmap, and this is going to convert that image by itself to a PNG. I notice it popped up, but it's going to come out, and sometimes it does that. So now once you've exported the PNG, you're going to be able to upload that directly into the CMS over the image tile.